Most women spend years doing glute kickbacks, ab circuits, or even random workout splits that they found online only to look the exact same way 12 months later. They spend hours trying to lose fat, build those curves, and create that strong hourglass look that they've seen online. So they try to spend more time at the gym, adding way more exercises to their existing routine. And after all of that effort, their body barely changes because they're not focused on the training movement patterns. And the truth is, your body only cares about a handful of fundamental movement patterns. And if you miss even one of them, you could potentially be leaving results on the table. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the 7 movement patterns that you need to include into your current routine to ensure that you are building that lean muscle, building that strength, and ultimately getting the physique that you are trying to achieve. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some women can spend 6 to 7 hours in the gym per week and still remain stuck, while others can spend 3 to 4 times per week in the gym and actually see their physique transform. So if your workouts currently look like this: Monday, you have your glute day. Tuesday, you have abs. Wednesday, cardio. Thursday, you have another glute day. And then Friday, you don't really have a plan, but you will figure it out as soon as you get into the gym by quickly looking up a quick TikTok workout that you found online. Now, don't get me wrong, you might be working incredibly hard, but also leaving a lot of results on the table because your body actually cares about fundamental movement patterns. And when you neglect these movement patterns, you can unintentionally create imbalances that will slow down your progress in the long run. You can increase your risk of injury. You can ultimately affect your posture and keep your physique actually looking the exact same month after month. And this is where a lot of women get so frustrated because they're actually showing up to the gym. They are putting in work. They are doing some workouts, but they're not seeing the adaptations that they're looking for. And I only can speak from my experience because this was me. I genuinely thought I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. I was actually showing up to the gym pretty frequently, but I'd walk into the gym and head straight to the circuit machine section. And I only went there because they felt safe. I nearly spent 2 hours doing whatever exercises promised the biggest caloric burn. I definitely, in my earlier days of starting my fitness journey, avoided the squat rack like the plague. And I avoided the cable machines because they intimidated me in my earlier stages. But if I saw a creator online doing a new home workout, I would definitely try it. So I would try something new almost every single week. And if I was extremely sore after the workouts, I treated that like a badge of honor. Now, don't get me wrong, I also was not following a training program. I wasn't tracking my weight, so there was no progressive overload at the beginning of my journey. I was only thinking that if I was extremely sore after my workout, that was a great sign. And I thought eventually my body had to change. But I'm gonna be honest, after years of doing that, I didn't really see much of a change. And I started wondering if my body was even capable enough to reach the goals that I was setting out for myself, which is crazy to think in retrospect. And then I had to come to terms with the fact that my strategy was the problem. So later on, I actually learned how to choose exercises based off of what created the biggest adaptation. And as I trained how to become a personal trainer, I learned how to structure my workouts instead of randomly piecing random exercises together. I learned the principles that actually drove results. So think about your compound movements, your progressive overload, strategic programming. And that was the difference between spinning my wheels for years and actually getting the defined physique I was looking for. So every exercise that you've probably done will fit into one of these 7 movement patterns. And if you master these 7 movement patterns, you will build more muscle. You will get those body recomposition results that you're after. You will build better posture. You will become stronger. And you will do this without spending your entire life in the gym. But before we get into these 7 movement patterns, don't forget to like the video, comment below if you have any questions about today's topic, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. All right, so let's get into the video. Number 1, you must include a squat pattern. Now, a lot of women, of course, want the defined legs, the lifted glutes, and the hourglass lower body look. But many women still avoid getting stronger in squat patterns because they're intimidated by heavier lower body exercises. But the squat is one of the fastest ways to build shape through your quads and your glutes. It's what gives your legs that strong and sculpted look. And because you're supporting your weight through your core, it also teaches your body how to stabilize under a significant amount of load while improving your posture and ultimately your confidence. And if you're missing this movement into your routine, it often means that you're relying on endless glute isolation exercises while never actually building the foundation of your lower body muscle that actually will change your shape. And missing this pattern can leave your lower body underdeveloped no matter how many glute exercises you actually do. Number 2 is the hinge pattern. Now, if there's one movement pattern that changed my physique the most, it was learning how to hinge properly. Because for years, I thought that glute kickbacks were simply enough. But your glutes aren't simply just designed to squeeze. They're designed to produce force. And hinge patterns train your glutes in one of their most important functions: a powerful hip extension. And this is what creates that glute shape that you're after. And it also builds in that upper hamstring to tie into the glutes. It creates that shelf effect that many of us are after. And it strengthens your posterior. And missing this movement pattern often leaves women frustrated because no matter how many glute days you have in your routine, you will never get the results that you hoped for. Number 3, the lunge. Now, if your goal is to build glutes, shape your legs, and create that aesthetic lower body look that you're after, you can't only rely on squats and deadlifts alone. The lunge pattern trains your glutes, quads, and hamstrings one leg at a time while changing your balance and stability in ways bilateral exercises can't. And that's important because some of the best lower body builders for women fall into the lunge category. Exercises like the Bulgarian split squats, reverse lunges, and step-ups place a huge amount of tension through the glutes and legs while allowing you to train each side independently. Now, from a physique perspective, this movement pattern helps add muscle throughout the lower body while creating shape through the glutes, thighs, and your legs. And because building an hourglass physique isn't just about growing your glutes, it's about developing your entire lower body. The lunge pattern plays a major role in creating that balanced, athletic look. They also can expose side-to-side differences in terms of your strength and stability that can sometimes go unnoticed during exercises like the squats or even the deadlifts. So if the squats and hinges build the foundation of your lower body, the lunges will help fill in those gaps. Number 4, the push pattern. Now, this one needs a mindset shift because there are still some women out there that are afraid of working on their upper body. And I know some women still hear push exercises and they think, I'm gonna get those bulky shoulders, or I probably am overnight gonna turn into a bodybuilder. But the reality is, training your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps is not going to make you a bodybuilder overnight. It's going to create that balance. It will help build that upper body to make that waist look defined. And strong shoulders are going to improve your posture. Strong arms are going to make your life easier throughout your day. Neglecting these push patterns just to exclusively work on lower body exercises is going to cause that underdevelopment of your upper body and cause you not to get the shape that you're probably after. So some of these exercises can include your shoulder press, your bench press, your push-ups. All right, so let's get into number 5, the pull movement pattern. Now, if I had to choose one movement pattern that women typically neglect, it would be the pull pattern. We spend most of our lives hunched forward, looking at our phones, our laptops, sitting at a desk at an office, even driving. And then we go to the gym and do more exercises facing forward. Now, pulling strengthens the muscles that literally pull you upright. It improves posture, creates definition in our back, builds the shoulders, and contributes to that V-taper effect that gives us the illusion of that smaller waist. And missing the pulling pattern can leave us feeling weak, looking slouched, and wondering why our physique is simply not looking the way we wanted it to. So some examples of these movements include rows, lat pull down, downs, pull-ups. Alright, so the last two movements are movements that people typically don't include into their programming. And they're often the reason why a lot of people feel so weak despite actually working out consistently. So let's get into the carry pattern. Now, carries can be one of the most underrated movement for women because strength isn't just about how much we can deadlift. It's about whether your body supports you throughout your life. Think about it, carrying groceries, lifting your suitcase to get it into the overhead bin when you're on a flight, carrying your child around the house, moving forward, or even creating that mental toughness. Carry patterns teach your body to stay strong while resisting collapse. They strengthen your core, your grip, your shoulders, and your posture all at once. And they're one of the ways to build strength that transfers into your current life. So think about your farmer carries, your suitcase carries, your front rack carries. Now you can be strong on the machines but still struggle in real life. And carries will bridge that gap. Alright, so the last movement is the rotation pattern. Some women still believe that core training is simply just feeling your abs burn, which is why they do the endless crunches. But your core's primary job isn't simply crunching, it's resisting and controlling movement. So you can have visible abs and still have a very weak core. But your rotation and your anti-rotation exercises teach your body how to transfer force efficiently. Think about improving your stability and helping protect that lower back while adding to a stronger, more functional midsection. Because remember, at the end of the day, the goal is to become stronger. So think about your cable rotations, your wood chops, your pull-off presses, or even your medicine ball rotational throws. Skipping rotation often means you're missing a huge part of your functional strength. Alright, so keep in mind, none of these movements are newly created exercises that you see online, but the difference is understanding that you need to include them into your program while getting stronger at them. By, of course, remembering to include progressive overload, which isn't a movement pattern, but it is a training principle. You know, the biggest mistake that I used to make, especially during my early stages of my body recomposition journey, is I used to exercise hop. I used to program hop. I never tracked my weights in terms of how much I was lifting, how many reps or sets that I was doing. And ultimately, I changed my exercises on a weekly basis. Now, of course, the problem was I didn't understand the movement patterns that I discussed earlier on in the video. And the truth is, you don't need more novelty. You probably need less randomness, less program hopping, less chasing the burn, and more focus on mastering these 7 movement patterns. But if you would rather have the entire plan laid out for you, that's exactly why I created the 8-week body recomposition program that you can check out using the first link in the description. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.